First shot of the game settles in. Boy, he is better than advertised when he came on here. The number of things that he can do for this team.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of things I didn't know he could do.
Yeah, right. This is the winningest Laker team since Phil was coach. So congrats to JJ, the staff, the players, everybody associated with the Lakers as they are sitting on 52 wins. Back in 2010-11, they won 57, but everything they've been through with the injuries and everything else, more power to them. They won the Pacific Division this year.
It's unbelievable. Except granted, with all the guys that have been out and so many different lineups, to be able to win 52 games is an unbelievable accomplishment.
We'll get to Will Hardy in a minute, who, my guy, right, that was a shot clock issue, but we've figured that one out. That three-pointer barely hits the rim. That one's going to put up again. They come up short both times. That was Blake Hinson on the follow. Here is LeBron. What a roll he has been on. Tried to force it under to Kennard. They're on the ground, and it's picked up by Utah. They can score. Let me put it that way. They just don't play much defense. Oh, tell me about Will Hardy.
I came in with Will Hardy. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Great.
Tell me all about him.
He's one of the reasons why I became such a great shooter. You know, him and Chad Forcier, got to give him a lot of credit for the unbelievable amount of repetition of doing and shooting it the right way. Form, per repetition. I was a good shooter, became a great shooter with Will Hardy.
And you guys were together in San Antonio.
Yeah, for some years. We had a really good run for a good 7 years with him. Chad Forcier as well. Learned a lot of great things from him, and it's good to see him be a head coach and kind of turn things around, hopefully next year for this Utah Jazz organization.
A lot of players have great things to say about playing in that system for so many years when Pop was the head coach. DA underneath, and he scrambles for it, and he puts it up and in on the follow.
Just muscles it through, tears it away from everybody, gets a nice little easy finish.
Utah, as mentioned, struggling this year, 22-59. They're tied with Sacramento for the worst in the West coming in. But that guy right there, huge future for him, Ace Bailey out of Rutgers University.
Yeah, I think he's kind of upped his game by taking some better shots, like higher IQ shots, and also learning how to work off the pick and roll and pin down and DHO action.
Well, his coach said, Will Hardy, who we were just talking about, he was very energetic but frantic early on, and that's what happens. The game slows down for you a little bit the more you play.
Yeah, I mean, and also the better you get. Yeah. So the more rhythm, the more minutes he's gotten, the better he's gotten. He's able to slow the game down and feel more comfortable and confident in his moves.
Wearing their Sunday white uniforms now with 8 on the shot clock, a minute and a half in. LeBron, is he looking to step back baseline with that shot of his? Oh, he whips a pass 8 right at the free throw line to beat the buzzer. And the rebound is there.
Pretty good defense by Utah that possession.
Yeah, Oscar Tshiebwe was the one who picked that one up. And there he is in the lane. He puts it up and misses. We're going to run down some crazy numbers that Utah put up, historic numbers, when they get to the free throw line for the first time in that game the other night against an outmanned Grizzlies team. Here's LeBron. Mid-range is down for 2.
To book it, again, this is one of those games where he's got to set the tone, and they got to work on some things and not play around early on so they can get that play-up-like rhythm.
Williams settles in. That's Cody Williams. He's good buff out of the University of Colorado.
Little brother of Jalen Williams from Oklahoma City Thunder, for those that don't know.
Yeah. Lob underneath. Throw it down. DA on the pass from Marcus Smart.
And that's why Marcus is so intricate to this team. Not only does he do little things, but he gets other guys involved, like DeAndre Ayton. to bring that energy on the defensive end of the floor.
All right, Lakers 4 out of 6 to start the game. And after one miss, it was DA to clean it up for a second chance basket. Bailey turns, shoots, misses. Rebound right into the lap of Rui Hachimura. Now walking it into the attacking 47 is LeBron James. Here's Rui, top 10 this year in three-point shooting, but he goes, what is it?
99.
That's right.
Mid-range on 99.
That's a good run to the other end, but it's a good defense by Ayton. Came all the way back, and Shibwe couldn't score. Now it's LeBron who leads the NBA in fast break points again. He's been right at the top just about every year that he's been with the Lakers, and Shibwe scores off the good bounce. Oscar went to Kentucky, where he dominated the board. Do you know how many rebounds he had the other night? Shibwe? 22.
Wow.
That's dominating.
That's a lot of rebounds.
22 rebounds against the Grizzlies. Bounce all right where he could do some damage as he was sealing off the defender. And he hit the bottom of the rim, and we'll get free throws.
Great screen and roll right there from Rui. But as you can see, Marcus Smart, little things that he does on offense and defense. Quick heads-up play, sees DeAndre Ayton at the rim, throws it over the top, knows the small defender can't get there.
And again, just to remind everybody, everybody in the East except for Chicago played already today, and now everybody in the West starts at 5:30. Chicago is the odd team out. They're going to play one of the games here tonight. But it's kind of, they're taking the tip from the Premier League in England, where everybody starts at the same time the last week of the season, so you can't really scoreboard watch. You got to go out and do what you want to do.
Pretty smart. I mean, Silver's been doing a great job thus far. I don't know if he does the scheduling, but
I think that was his idea to come up with that. Here's Rui, got a hand on it, one way then the other, trying a little windshield wiper, having all kinds of problems as Cody Williams. They'll reset with Williams on the outside. He's trying to work on Ayton over DA, short again. Oh, LeBron's running. Right side, Marcus Smart, reverse layup, and he went down hard.
Ace Bailey tried to play the lob.
Marcus came out the other side, trying to put the circus shot in.
Yeah, he's tracking LeBron the whole time. Then last minute tries to get Marcus Smart at the rim. Of course, the smart player Marcus is.
You know, he played his first game since March 21st. First game off the bench since Christmas. Tied a season high in assists. He's 4 threes away from reaching 100. I want you to give me your take on his season right after this from Kia. Expand a little bit what Marcus has meant to this team.
I mean, he's been the heart and soul of them, defensively, of course, and then offensively, too. Setting the table, be able to bring the ball up, especially when you have so many injuries. You had Luke out, you had Austin out. He's been that key, foundational pillar to be able to allow guys like DeAndre Ayton just play his game.
Look at that pass like he talked about on the dive by Ayton.
And he's just leading the team in plus minus for a good reason. He makes winning plays, does all the little things.
Underneath, Kennard came back to try to block it.
And people thought when they signed Marcus Smart, like, oh, it's not good enough. I think we got him for a steal. Here's Marcus Smart finding DeAndre Ayton once again. Drawing 2. DeAndre Ayton does a great job cutting to the basket. Over the top, finishes strong.
7 assists in that 101-73 win over Phoenix. Boy, was Phoenix dominated and overwhelmed in that one. All right, Utah in their last game had 7 players in double figures, 5 guys with double-doubles, 4 with 10-plus rebounds, 3 with 10-plus assists, 2 triple-doubles, and they were both off the bench. First time it's ever happened in the NBA, and they only had 7 guys available.
Boy, are they playing some offense. That just
They can always score.
They're playing at a really good pace.
Yeah.
They're moving the ball, finding each other, and playing hard.
You know, when you look at their scoring, they're in the top 10 in points per game, but defensively, they're right there at the bottom. And hopefully they will improve, and that will mean they're getting everybody healthy. Here is LeBron. Misses the 3. Has not shot the 3 well this year, but inside the three-point line, having one of his best years of his career.
I mean, he's so good at getting to the basket. You can't stop him. Why he's been at the top of the game for 23 years. And
that one. Sends
That's
the
a
ball.
transition.
Here he goes. LeBron let in.
We in the league in transition points. About to get another one.
Yeah, they
Never
never
stops
stop.
running.
You said it. Here comes the train down the track. LeBron, lob, throw it down. Throw that baby down. Timeout, Utah.
LeBron James, 41 years old, running like Forrest Gump. From defense to offense to defense to offense. There he goes, playing the passing lanes. Best in the business. Steal, layup. Making teams call timeout. 5.7 basketball points this season.
Pretty good.
The game, huh?
Drive,
Really
kick,
good.
sends the ball. And it's knocked right back out to number 2, Blake Hinson. Hinson will let it go from deep.
Very deep.
And Ayton gonna rebound it. Ayton has started more games this year than any Laker. LeBron! Who's gonna stop him? I'll give you the answer. Nobody.
See the freight train coming through. Get out the way.
Boy, he has just eased right back into that number 1 role with no Luka, no AR. And that one is scored by Shibwe. Lakers with a 21-12 jumping out on top. They've won 2 in a row after losing 3 in a row. Previous to that, they had won 16 out of 18 when they got really hot and moved all the way up to 3rd. Marcus nearly went down. Shibwe's got the rebound.
Hair off the mark.
Shibwe the other night had 16 points in those 22 rebounds. They're attacking Marcus Smart. Count it goes. It doesn't go. And I'll tell you what, Baylor's going to get a lot of looks here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he's their prospect. They're going to build everything around him offensively. Everybody else that's been a starter or played rotational minutes is out and not unavailable.
You know, you talked about that they can score, but I've also talked about how they haven't played much defense. They've given up 140 plus points in the 3 previous games. Last 3. All right, fuel your day at Extra Mile. Fresh food, caffeine, cold drinks, grab it and go. Extra Mile at select Chevron locations. In fact, Danny, they gave up 156 to the Pelicans last week.
Well, I mean, if you don't have to play defense and only offense, I feel like I can get out there and give a couple minutes.
156. I give you more than that. I'll give you half a dozen.
I mean, Will Hardy said, we might need you tonight. Put a jersey, I'll run every play for you. I said, well, I'm not in that space anymore.
That one comes up short from downtown. Rebound now to Rui. He's going to tie a career high. He just has with 68 games played with his appearance tonight. Kennard, right back to Hachimura. Luke, boy, Ace gave just a little bit of a look. Now Kennard tries to attack. Wants to go up and under, and he finally drew the contact.
Got the young rookie up in the air. A couple pump fakes. High IQ, Luke Kennard.
Now Luke tied his scoring high as a Laker with 19 in that win over Phoenix. 5th straight start for him. He's been averaging just under 15. And how about this? 7 steals over his last 2 games.
Well, he's had to do a lot more offense, but also defense. So he's picked it up all around. I know his shooting is taking a little dip, but that's what happens when you exert so much energy doing everything else.
Yeah, that's 31 out of 33 free throws for him in a Lake Show uniform. First quarter, 4.5 to go in it. Finale of the regular season. It'll be playing time starting Tuesday. Lakers will start next weekend. Underneath, Shibwe scores.
Very fundamental.
Shibwe,
Yeah, he's very fundamental. He looks it anyway.
an aspiring writer. Says he reads about 50 books a year.
Wow. You don't see that much.
Man wants to write. In fact, he's been working on a couple of books. Here is Rui. Rui in the lane. Gets knocked down. That could be another one on Ace.
Yeah, they might just let him foul out, though.
By the way, Tony Brothers,
One of my favorites.
Mitchell Irvin, and Brandon Schwab. So much sincerity with that
For
comment.
those that don't understand, it's a lot of sarcasm. As a person, as a referee,
There's Ruiz, the one. So in the early going for the Lakers, as Ayton goes to the bench, everybody in the starting lineup has scored. Of course, the Lakers have the second highest percentage of points coming from their starters in the NBA. They have not had a great bench production-wise.
So because of injuries, everybody that's
moves up
from the bench had to start a good amount of the season.
So everybody's done their thing here and there, obviously.
Jake LaRavia's had moments. Again, Smart has. Rui, he's had some bench moments.
Jake's had the biggest seesaw scoring over the last 6, which we'll give you a little bit later on. Here is Rui. Rui underneath. Thought he was going to try the left-handed hook for an instant. There's the southpaw Kennard taking the pass. Rui with 4, with 3. Drives all the way to the hoop and scoops it in.
It's just a beautiful basketball. Drive and kick, swing, find each other, get open lanes, get an easy layup.
Rui's career high of 34 came against the Jazz a couple of years ago. As that one is knocked out of bounds, and we'll see Vando in the game.
Yeah, and this is them just moving the ball, driving and kicking, find each other, open up the lanes. Rui gets an uncontested finish at the rim.
Ball out of bounds. Kennard trying to guard. He's going to, of course, put a body between the basket and the guy throwing it in. Underneath, going up hard that time was Bryce Sensabaugh out of the Ohio State University, and down he goes. He was looking to dunk it. He's dunked it 28 times this year, in only 7 in the previous 2 years. So it's part of his game now.
Getting a good amount of attempts at the rim, but I thought Maxi Kleber did a great job of contesting that. He came down with the arms a little bit.
Sensabaugh missed the game against Memphis. There are so many players up and down the NBA who have been on the injury list the last week or so. We're talking
like 160.
Like record amounts.
Well, I mean, coming to the end of the regular season, there's going to be teams that rest guys for health purposes for the playoffs. And then there's also the teams now where we have the issue where we're talking also about the tanking issue. So with the combination of the two, the numbers are going to look gaudy.
Well, you saw Jax right next to AR. We don't know when he's going to come back. We expect Jackson will be ready when the playoffs start next weekend. Maxi Kleber is in. Here's Jake. We just spoke of him. Ronnie stops and pops from the free throw line. Battling underneath is Kleber, who is entangled with Sheboy.
Had some great ball movement on that possession. Lakers up 11.
Keep it rolling.
Timeout. Yep, keep it rolling.
And go through the process there. Here, of course, Billy, we're most interested, as you have alluded to, in Denver and San Antonio. Now, Wemby not playing. He hit his 65-game requirement last game. Jokic is playing because he needed it to get to 65. What we don't know is if he'll come out after about 20 minutes or so, which is what that requirement is. And Denver didn't really play